morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tellor Dev Call. Today is March 10th, 2025, and we're getting ready to do an upgrade this week to the testnet. We'll be announcing all the logistics as the week goes by, so you guys can be up to date and can upgrade your nodes as well. With that, let's get started with where we're at with the upgrade, Caleb.
It's currently being tested right now in I guess parallel network. I ran through the upgrade over the weekend and I'm just testing the chain out to make sure that everything worked out, all the migrations were good, and everything's gonna be peachy whenever we upgrade the testnet.
Spuddy, are you ready?
Ready for what?
For the upgrade.
I mean, upgrades are easy. As long as the binary's ready, the upgrade's easy as pie. On Friday, I was working on a bug, though. We had a dispute on Arbitrum when one of the sources gave a 0 and one of the sources gave a $1, and it reported like a 50-cent-ish price. We self-disputed that and fixed it. I just made it so, we didn't talk about this much, but I just made it so if one of the sources in a Tellor feed is not working, is giving a 0. So any one of the sources gives a 0 or a 0.0000 and nothing else, it's just not going to record. I think that's the safe way to do that. So I'm shipping that fix everywhere now.
Nice. Yeah, I think most of the big ones, the big prices have more sources than 2, but
yeah.
It's usually an issue like if you're contacting us for a data feed.
This particular feed was a super custom feed, and it's actually using like multiple pools as one source, and then CoinGecko as the second source. It's like a custom gyroscope USD feed. Yeah,
sources are the hardest part.
I guess just to add another layer to that, it's for the sources. If a feed has multiple sources, usually if they fail, they return none and not 0, or they error out for some reason. But I guess of the subgraph APIs or APIs that use subgraph, for example, I guess sometimes they return 0. So those are very rare cases. Otherwise, if there are multiple sources for a feed and one of them returns none, it'll still use the other.
Yep.
Sources.
Well, thanks for handling that. But Akram, I know you've been doing some updates also to Tellor and getting us ready for using it, I guess, independently in Layer. So how's that coming along?
Yeah, that's pretty much done. Finally was able to pass all the tests on GitHub Actions that were even that was like one of the bounty issues, I think, but nobody picked it up. So I just have to do merge conflicts from the bug that Spuddy talked about. And I think we're ready to go. Right, Spuddy? I can merge it and ship it as well.
If we're going to ship new Tellor, then I will just start using new Tellor everywhere. See how it goes. Okay. It's been working great, everything I've tried, but I haven't, it's hard to try every little thing.
Yeah, I know. And I don't see why. Anyways, it wasn't. Everything should be the same. So.
Yeah, because all the changes that we made, we updated the Python version and the tests, which is exciting. It's because we'll be able to work a lot faster now.
We want to make tests that are failing. That's one thing that kind of took a while to get fixed.
Gotcha.
And then also, the airflow. I did some kind of updates to it today, so I'm going to push that. That error, the email that we got last week from the error for the transaction being late, getting accepted because of low gas or whatever. On retries, it usually increments the gas and pushes it again to be accepted. So the email should have been not sent until all the retries have been passed. So I'm fixing that.
Yeah, thanks for looking into that too. And I guess Ryan, you're working on the front end, doing some PRs for this week, since we're going to be upgrading. Anything that you need for the front end or getters or anything, this is a good time. We might do another upgrade, but
Yeah, I think that there are a couple things for the Block Explorer that I'm not sure if this upgrade will include, but I'll talk to Tim offline about that. And then I was going to try to set up a reporter as well, just so I could give the docs some fresh eyes and possibly go through this upgrade as well to get familiar with that process.
thanks, Ryan. Dan,
I added 2 new queries, and I'm writing up some event documentation in the module readmes.
thanks, Dan. And then Tim,
Yeah, I'm working on our sample layer users solidity contracts, and which are kind of just guidelines for potential users to know exactly how to use layer proofs properly. So I've updated a subset of those so far, and then I'm writing up a write-up in English about how that works. And yeah, so I'm working on that. I'm hoping I should be done with those today. I found that writing the things in English makes me find some problems with how I wrote the contract, and then so we fill in those gaps. Yeah, and then next I'll be putting one of those contracts on Testnet and actually relaying data to it.
yes, going from pseudocode to an actual write-up, it's really gets you thinking through the process.
It's a useful exercise.
Yeah. And it's going to be great for users, so it's perfect. Nick?
No, don't got a lot. We should have a few articles out for people this week. So stay tuned for those. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, see you guys next week. Unless we have any questions, Ryan. Sorry.
No questions.
See you all next week then.